Hello everybody, welcome to episode 167 of Show Free, where today we'll be going over Chapter 10 of Haunted Peak entitled Secret. Now, before I get into this, this chapter does predominantly focus on self-harm, so if you were sensitive to that, then don't watch the video. But yeah, so, going into it, we see as, Ebihara is sitting there, and he ultimately starts stabbing at his face. He just starts destroying. We see that he's poking his face, eyes, ears, everything. He mentioned about how he wanted to take out his eyes so he couldn't see the eyes that had saw his daughter the way, or seen his wife and believed all these lies. He didn't want the ears that had taken in these lies. He didn't want the tongue that he had spoken to his wife with and all that. So we see as he's just destroying everything in his face. And we see as he's reminiscent about things, we also see as while he's discussing his immense hatred for his wife, that Miko is seeing images of Momochi in his mind, which is very kind of disturbing almost. But yeah, so we see like he's doing this and he's like stabbing his eyes, and we see like through his vision how it's all blurry and stuff like that. And we get something really sad. We get to see a picture of that Honoka had drawn, which is obviously very sad. But yeah, that's his daughter, by the way. But yeah, so we just see as he keeps stabbing at himself, and ultimately he's like, well, after I had been stabbing at my eyes, he's like, I didn't want to see anymore, but curiosity got the best of me. So he looks up at his wife, and his wife's like, oh, you want me to be sad? You want me to scream? You want me to stop you? And she mentions about how he's being passive aggressive. She does not ask him to stop harming himself. Even in the face of him killing himself, we see that she still upholds her. There's some stronger choice words I could use. Her uncouth persona. She's a horrible person, to say the least, because he is actively killing himself here. The person that she supposedly loves. And she's not doing a thing about it. She won't even scream. She doesn't even cry. She does not care. She is fully, allowed the emotions of like any type of care to be exiled from within her. Because she's just watching it, and she is still, unleashing this hatred towards Ebihara, and it's really sad. And we see, as after this, Ebihara's like, you know what? I'm gonna finish it off. And we see as he kind of went on like a brief before this. He was like he couldn't exactly remember what he said. He knew he went off. He went crazy. He said he did a lot of cursing and stuff like that. And ultimately, she said something about like him probably being better off dead or anything like that. And so we see as Ebihara's like, you know what? I agree. Jumps off the 3rd floor veranda that their condo is on, and hits the ground. And then he gets to mention about how he in fact did not die because there's only 3 stories, and that's only 3. They only lived on the 3rd floor because his wife was scared of heights. And he's like, I should have just not listened to her and bought the highest floor, because then that fall would have actually killed him. But it in fact did not kill him, and he landed. And we see his blood is rushing through from his head, and the leaves are falling down on him. He's like, yeah, just bury me. Don't let anyone see me here. Yeah, so then we see that, and we see as he then discusses a little bit more about like what happened. And we see as he's talking, he's like, yeah, after that, they finalized their divorce. He never saw Honoka again. And after that, obviously, he sold the condo and ultimately ended up buying the mountain. And so we see as he's briefly talking more about with Miko about all that has happened and everything. And we see as he's mentioning, Miko's like, I don't see how you didn't do it. I don't see how you didn't break, because honestly, I would have killed the wife and then killed myself. But Ebihara's like, yeah, that's kind of where in the moment your true colors just kind of shine, because my instinct was to harm myself, and hers was to belittle me and be self-absorbed. So we see that is in fact why he did not kill his wife. That is, Ebihara's a really good dude, because I believe most people in a situation of as much mental distress as that would have fallen to what Miko suggested, because that is kind of the course of action that would come to mind, because that's the person who caused you this much harm, the person that has made you go to this level where you're actively harming yourself, where you're stabbing yourself in the face with a fork. But yeah, so we see that, and they kind of talk a little bit more on the concept, and then we see as Ebihara is speaking with Miko, and he's like, yeah, I'm really glad I was able to discuss this with you, because I felt a weight lifted off my shoulders, because I've never really been able to discuss anyone with this before. And I've kept my face and everything a secret, but he's been showing Miko his face throughout all of this discussion. Really, we get to see his full. We get to see his mouth. We get to see his his ears that got stabbed, his eyes, all of that stuff. We get to see the fork prints in his face. And so we just kind of see as he continues to discuss this, and then ultimately he's like, yeah, but hopefully this will be our little secret, since I did release so much stuff onto you, but we were still able to smile about it in the end. So he said, let's let it be our little secret. And we see as Miko gives a very unassuring smile. It's like very fake. Like, crap. It's like that one kid in, I think it's Ocarina of Time, the one that the Ben drowned theory is based off. But yeah, or not theory, but creepypasta. But yeah. So that's why the story was entitled, not the story, but the chapter was entitled Secrets, obviously, because it ended with the, I guess, proposition of a secret. So I am honestly really ready to see where the story goes now, because we got Ebihara's backstory, and that was kind of like the big thing that we needed to know. So I'm really ready to see where it goes. Like, I want to see what Miko does with this information, what Ebihara is going to, like, how Ebihara is going to be pertinent to the plot after this. I'm really just ready to see how things play out, because I have no clue how they will. But yeah, obviously, we got a new chapter next week, so it'll be coming in pretty fast. But yeah, that's what there really was for Chapter 10 of Haunted Peak. It was really enjoyable, and it was very good. Also, I forgot to mention that we got an F-bomb drop in this, so we're like on the perfect little like verge of seinen and shonen, because like we have these very dark elements, and obviously this level of swearing now, but we also have like some shonen elements. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this because it is closer to seinen, and I really enjoy seinen. Like, obviously, I got seinen, Berserk down there, seinen, Vinland Saga, and I got some other stuff that you probably consider seinen. I got Steel Ball Run up there, which is eventually converted to seinen. But yeah, that's all right. That's all that really was, like I said, for but chapter 10 of Haunted Peak, and that's all I really have for episode 167 of Shelf Review. So thank you very much for watching.